Welcome inside tonight's broadcast here in Belleville, Ontario, as we have the Fleming Phoenix taking on the Loyalist Lancers. My name's Stephen Schill alongside John Ostrowski. Something to watch right off the top here. Liam Hill approaching his 500th career kill for the Lancers, currently at 496. So we'll see if he hits it here in this first set. As a point comes through on Hill, but I don't think that's going to count as a kill unless maybe it does. You see Titus throwing up a hand. But we see Toby Archibald, and realistically, I am shocked to see Archibald here. He's been wearing a brace throughout the entire first half of the season, and he's back. Starting lineup and all. An absolutely incredible setter. Was a dominant force last year for Loyalists, and great to see him here early as we see Cannon now set by Archibald in the back. It's going to be Blakeston, and he paints the back corner straight down the middle. And I did hear through the radio that they were going to count that Hill kill. We'll say at the 497. That's Archibald again from the line. An absolute laser, almost touching the roof, but not going to be the case from Fletcher. Ultimately, Fleming falls. Excuse me, I'll look down just for a second. Fleming ended up getting that point there. It's on the far side. I think they ended up swinging through. So pardon me. Fleming is on the board. The serve comes through. It's going to be Hill to Archibald right down the middle. Cannon is there. A block does come through on the side of DeCoke, but ultimately spins out. So point for Loyalist. And the man of the hour, Liam Hill, now at the line. Serve comes through. Going to be popped up by Rob. And then a big left-handed swing coming through from Hunter Hoskins. And add another to the board for Fleming. One of the rookies to crack the starting lineup, Jordan Flynn, with the serve. Just misses. Cannon, too heavy. So Hoskins after a big point a moment ago to Hill. Going to be Archibald back to Hill. Hill gets a good angle on it, but a diving effort from Rob keeps it alive, and then Hoskins again puts it over Diefenbach. First opportunity. Going to go off the pole on the net, so that's going to be out. They'll continue the run here from Hoskins. It's a good angle on a Blakeston, hitting the deck, but keeping it alive. Hill now goes for a quick little dump. Hoskins straight down the middle gets set from Northrup. Fleming does get it over, and we see Westerman just reaching for it, and Blakeston's there for a quick tap down. Point Loyalist. Diefenbach. Coming through on that spinner with that left hand. Nicely played from the libero, and Fletcher. And a fight at the bottom of the net gets tapped over from DeCoke. And Fleming picks up the point.
And 5-5 now. Welcome everyone who's just joining us, hearing my voice for the first time.
Going to be Archibald setting that up to Blakeston, and oh, that one was absolutely going to be out. You can see the hands go up from Calvin to Coke, realizing, hey, I know that was out. But I know that you were down just a second ago doing the intros, but Toby Archibald, one of the absolute all-stars for Loyalists last year, coming back into the starting lineup here as we brought that off at the top. And again, just seeing him here, instead of Parade, the Guzman, very interesting to see how Loyalists will end up doing. As again, going into this matchup, Loyalists is at 4-5, and Fleming is at 2-7.
Yeah, definitely want a good result here if you are the Lancers. They're down a player, looks like. Nope, sorry, excuse me. He's on the bench there. I didn't see Poirier de Guzman earlier, but he is back on the bench. So just surprised he hasn't gotten into the game yet as Westerman rises up. Oh, that's Hill, but he gets blocked.
And it looks like it's going to be a tip, so I did think that they ended up getting that point is Loyalist. So Hill now up to 498. Westerman going to go straight down the middle. Flynn coming through on a big serve.
And we're tied up at 7 here. Of course, Loyalist Lancers at 4 and 5, but in 7th in the very difficult Eastern Conference. When you're only a game under 500 in this OCAA in any sport, you really don't expect to be that low in the standings. So this is a big one for the home side today.
Up to Hill, goes off there. That gets the point.
And that was his 498th kill in his OCAA career. And Archibald, the Nova Scotian, gets set to serve.
Absolute laser comes through. DeCoke's able to handle it, though, and a diving effort. Trying to play that is Flynn, and it's just going to ultimately drop as it goes way too far for anyone to realistically play it.
So I believe that Archibald had a quite serious leg injury, which was impeding him. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think he would be suiting up this season, but definitely a welcome addition to the Lancer side.
And just going back right where he left off on these strong serves. Popped up by Fletcher. Going to be close sides to Hoskins. Popped up from Hill. Going to go back to Diefenbach, and wow, clears it.
Dief, the Chief, with a big play there, able to rise up and score the kill.
Again, seeing an absolute run here from Archibald on the service line.
Oh, he's still there, 10-7 now, and Toby will serve again.
Robbing that first touch. Was casually tapped over from Flynn. Loyalist now trying to do some. Diefenbach on an angle. Fleming now gets an opportunity. It's going to be Hoskins seeing that double block. Archibald gets a hand on it, but as you can see, tab in hands with Blakeson. Blakeson was right behind him. Probably was the better option to let that one go through, but I don't think he realized he was there.
I think a bit of a miscommunication between both the lads there, and it will go back to a 2-point game as the Fleming player gets set to serve.
Hill. Archibald down the middle. Cannon. Get that middle activated early.
And the Torontonian rises up, scores a point. One of 2 Torontonians, as Sylvester is actually from Scarborough.
Hill. Ace. And Hill goes for that serve. 1 ace, 1 error.
And everyone on that Loyalist side is waiting for these 2 more kills, as I'm not sure. We'd have to go back into the record books, but he might be pretty close to the all-time kills leader for this program. And we'll have to update you guys on a later stream as the Fleming players' ball doesn't even get over the net there.
Cannon. Going to be out. Lions are struggling a little bit on the service line here the past few. Which always plays a role.
Hoskins gets set to serve with the distinct look, headband, mustache, and flame sleeves. So definitely has a bit of style out there.
Blakeson. Archibald goes up to Diefenbach, and Diefenbach gets some height.
There's another one for Diefenbach, his 2nd kill of the evening. And in case you missed the game earlier, a sweep for our Lady Lancers, defeating the Fleming Phoenix women's volleyball team by a score of 3-0.
I'm going to count the ace for Diefenbach after Cabello tries playing it, just not able to do so, and Jordan Ross takes the first timeout of the match. Diefenbach on the serve. Fletcher puts it up, and just an awkward serve that everybody knew immediately as it came out of the hands of Gibson Northrup. That was not going to go the way they wanted. But again, this first set, holy smokes, you just look up and it's 16-10. Feels like it is flying by, and same with the women's game a little bit earlier, even though there was some pretty talented rallies back and forth as the serve's missed by Diefenbach. I'll bring up DeCoke.
Yeah, both games are absolutely flying today, it seems. I believe this has only been in play for about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's already 16-11.
And wow, I don't even know what to talk about that one. Blakeson and Hill just let that one drop right between them. I don't basically the length of the ball. Maybe they're standing too close together to really do anything. Maybe he is spread apart, not sure. But give the ace to DeCoke. And the one ace, one error.
There you go, back to the same margin, 17-12 now for the Loyalist Lancers.
Blakeson with quite some height. Wow, what a laser, and giving the point to Fleming already. And I think they were calling Blakeson stepping over the line on the serve, which I don't know if I've seen that one called this year. But again, what a serve, ignoring the fact that it was an illegal one from Blakeson. What a spin. Burr having a couple, with a ton of missed serves, actually. Thinking about this in the first set, I feel like I brought it up just a moment ago, and we're continuing on that train.
Yeah, that might have been the least favorable serve for the Fleming side for both teams today. That was that one had no chance.
No funny business coming out of Westerman. We'll just get it over the net as usual. A little bit of collision on the side of Fleming, and Hill is there to just laser that, as I see a little bit of an argument that he might have touched the net. Yeah. So we'll see Westerman and the referee calling for a little bit of a conversation from DeCoke. I think it was just about the argument there a moment ago. Yeah, as immediately he goes back to Alex Robb, who I think was making a slight argument that he'll touch the net on that kill. As Westerman again, Mr. Reliable, does just that. Gonna be set from Northrup, and Robb's there. Lanches get the block as we see Archibald. First block of this hometown game for him, as we see Jordan Ross taking another timeout. Lanches up 20-13. Westerman. Fletcher on that first touch. Rob on the close side. Hill on that touch. Going to be put up to Diefenbach, and Diefenbach, oh my goodness, every game just coming through with highlight kills after highlight kills. Westerman. Northrop puts that up to Rob. And it'll be a point for Fleming. As Loyalist still in a commanding lead. Fleming's going to mount that comeback and needs to start now. And Gibson Northrop, the second-year player, on tap. Blakeston over to Archibald with a fight at the middle of the net and comes out the winner. Earlier we saw Toby Archibald have quite a run at the line as well. Looking to recreate the magic. And count it as an ace. Fletcher puts it off the roof. We'll see Cabello come in on the libero front as well. Quick little change. Archibald misses. Rob. Hill. Going to be a fight at the bottom of the net. Excuse me, not even that. Just gets knocked over from DeKoch. And Diefenbach is there. Goes off the blocking wall of the Phoenix and ultimately drops. I'll count it as a set point in favor of the Lancers. Hill. An absolute laser and an ace to close out this first set. 25-15. We'll be back with set 2 action momentarily. Kicking things off in the second set. It's going to be Toby Archibald. Again, just wildly impressed at how he hasn't seemed to skip a beat after not playing for so long. Especially these serves. Silver Rob on that first touch. Going to be set from Northrup, and Cannon is there on the block against Jordan Flynn. Another nice serve that gets tipped off the net. Rob's going to be there. Ultimately gets hit by the setter in Northrup. Lancers to respond, and Diefenbach tries to shoot that down the line. Too heavy. Northrup. Sylvester. To Archibald. Diefenbach. The block is there. Fleming having a run for it. Northrup gets it. Hoskins is there with the block. Hits it through everybody. Sylvester just hits it off his shoulder. And Diefenbach, on a little bit back, decides he's going to jump and swing. But Fleming is prepared with the block and getting the point. Gleason, Archibald, Hill, and he gets it. And there we go. 500 career kills for Liam Hill. What an amazing accomplishment there from Hill. Congrats for all your hard work throughout the season. Nice little celebration with the team on that as we see Jenkins smiling away at the referee as well. Always some good vibes in the middle of a game. Rob. Archibald puts it up to Blakeston and gets some crazy height on it and picks up the kill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back on the call. We just lack an in-game host this evening, so I had to pull double duty and let the fans know about Hill's wonderful accomplishment, 500 career kills. Congratulations, young man.
And Northrup ends up running into Blakeston there, and Northrup trying to argue with the referee that he was impeded on that play as Blakeston tries shrugging it off. I'm going to check with the far side referee, and we don't always get a challenge per se. That results in a bigger conversation, but it looks like that's going to be the case here. And they're going to end up giving the point to Fleming. And again, Blakeston ended up impeding Northrup there, I believe, is what the call is here. And again, immediately, all I really noticed, as I'm easily distracted, was Northrup's reaction to it. As we see Blakeston trying to laugh it off. But adds a little bit of extra something to this game. And we'll see how both teams come off of this as we see or hear some of the Fleming Phoenix women's team cheering in the crowd here. And again, just a little bit of extra spice added to this one.
Yeah, that's a little bit... I don't know what to make of that. The fact that he was able to argue the call and get the point. I don't think I've seen that in any sport.
I mean, it's always up to the referee, and in a way it sort of relates to hockey in a way for like the goaltender interference and being able to impede. And again, that obviously with volleyball, it's not really like a contact sport whatsoever, but running under the net to be able to play that, again, putting the players on the other side, and wow, straight off of that, Loyalist just caught completely flat-footed, giving up the ace.
Yeah, it looked like they were just standing around there, not what you want if you are on the Lancers side. That was a perfect serve by
And the Loyalists calling them saying they were out of rotation. One of the reasons, I guess, that they didn't play it, and then getting the call on that on the second go-around, the far side referee making the call. So holy smokes, add some drama into this one on back-to-back plays.
Wow. What are the odds of that to happen back-to-back plays? We'll see if we can get a serve off this play, and without a coach's challenge or a player challenge or whatever the terminology is in volleyball, as Dief gets set to serve here.
And it looks like we're going to have a substitution on Fleming's side too, but they didn't come in through naturally. But 13's headed to the bench, and Jordan Flynn. And that brought up Carson Burr, and Burr is somebody who's listed as the starting lineup, as is Flynn, so not entirely sure.
Loyalist 4 and 5, Fleming 2 and 7. Loyalist winning the first set by a solid 25 to 15 rather.
Maybe that was a part of the out of rotation. Can excuse my lack of knowledge on that front.
And they are getting set to serve now.
Going to be Diefenbach again, having some crazy offensive power throughout this game as Northrop sets up Hoskins. Hoskins decides to bail on a big swing, goes for a quick little dump instead. Archibald's there to play it. Blakeson getting some good height. Fleming's turn now to do something. Westerman, wow, what a block against DeCoke. And now Hoskins again. A moment ago, opting for just that tap over. This time, opting for the swing and just putting it far wide.
Yeah, easy for the Lancers to ignore that one. That was quite far.
Whoa! Oh my goodness, that looked pretty good from Diefenbach, but the far side referee called that one out. It looked like that touched the line from my vantage point. Excuse my reaction.
Yeah, that one was close. I thought that touched the line as well, but it won't matter our opinions. Tied at 5 here in the second set.
Hoskins, the left hand, Blakeston, Archibald, back to Blakeston and gets the height and the kill.
Another kill for the Aussie Blakeston from the Gold Coast region of Australia. Would not want to be watching this one over there. It's likely, 5 a.m. tomorrow, 6 a.m. We'll have to fact check that later. Anyways, it's time to serve.
Just off the net, diving effort, wow, from everybody. Fleming keeps the ball alive. Diefenbach put to Archibald, and there's Hill, and add 501 to the tally.
Not a chance for Hoskins there.
And again, this was around the time where Loyalists really started picking up momentum in the first set. See if it is a repeat. Blakeston.
Now within one after that serve that went awry. 7-6 now for the Loyalist Lancers.
DeCoke. And that's the communication that we're talking about. Hill looked like he was about to touch it, and then right next to him, somebody called it out, and last second moved his hands out of the way.
Westerman gets set to serve. That one's way out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've been calling him a good old reliable throughout this series, but ends up missing on that one, just a little bit too much sauce on it, as we see Carson Burr. Fleming with a heavy mix of first and second year players primarily. And Burr being in his second. As Hill on that first touch, Archibald puts it up, back to Hill. Was off the blocking front. Lynch has got a freebie to go again. Archibald thinks about hitting it, sets it up for Cannon, and honestly, I think there was just a little bit of uncertainty on the way that Archibald looked on that, like he was going to take it himself, and last second Cannon realizing, oh, okay, never mind, you're going to set me, so juked down his own team a little bit.
Yeah, wow, not what you want if you're on the Loyalist side.
And there was a famous clip, if you will. I think it might actually be up on the Loyalist Lancers YouTube channel if you go over to the shorts here, as we see Hill put up a laser, but that is going to be out. And it was from Archibald last year, and a ball came near him, and it looked like he was going to set it, but he actually let it go past him, and it happened to drop just over the net. And it was one of the craziest little kind of deke fake out, and what an insane shot from Jatin on picking that one up. So shout out to both the photographer and Archibald for that. And again, if you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out on the shorts page. But Simon Cannon getting a kill of his own as we're tied at 9 a pop.
And there it is, getting it right back into the scoring column. Toby Archibald gets set.
And right off the tip of the net, Northrup is there. And wow, what a height and kill from Jordan Flynn. Haven't seen that out of him yet today, but if they can get that rolling, holy smokes.
Yeah, it seemed like that came out of nowhere from Flynn, but that was textbook.
Northrup. Hill, Archibald to Cannon. Goes with that left hand. Don't need a lot of power if you got the placement.
Yeah, beautiful by Cannon, able to just tip it over, drop it in, and we're all tied up once again.
Hill with an ace.
I believe that's his third ace of the evening.
Diefenbach's there to answer back. It's Fleming, just gives Loyalist a chance. Rob's there, and Alex Robb gets the kill. Quick little tic-tac-toe on both squads. Ball's over Hill on that first touch. Going to be over to Hill. Back to Diefenbach, who's been on fire. But Northrup's there, and I am so confused why somebody else didn't end up helping on that instead of having the libero Cabello run from the length that he did when Hoskins was just there. And obviously you're wanting to have Hoskins available in case for a set, but that just seems super unrealistic.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reach there. You had to go long distance, and they're going to bring the broom over. Or the sweeper.
Fleming keeping this one much more tightly contested if you weren't here for the first set. Loyalist took it 25-15. Cannon, an absolute cannon on that one. It's going to be Hoskins here, leaning far back, gets it over. Hill, going to be Blaiston, knows that wall's there. Archibald played it perfectly as Diefenbach's there, and another big wall. Fleming back-to-back blocks on the play. My goodness, coming alive on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, and Loyalist looks a little bit shocked there after that one.
And I think that's something just to look back at and kind of realize, all right, Fleming's getting these blocks, and two of those played to absolute perfection, but also shout out to Archibald on just that placement on that first one, being able to keep it alive as Hill gets the back corner.
Yeah, beautiful kill by Hill there. 502 now. And there you go.
Diefenbach. The Coke gets that first touch up to Northrup and ends up swinging off that and then hitting off his own head was Carson Burr. Loyalist ends up getting the point, but wow. Take a clip of that one. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, that was way out there, and it'll remain a Loyalist lead now for two, up by 2, 14-12.
Diefenbach. Cabella's there. Sends it up to the referee. So count for a Loyalist. And we will see a timeout on the floor from Jordan Ross. We'll be back in just a moment. Lynch is up by 3. Diefenbach on the serve, and maybe we're going to count that as an ace off the timeout. Not to jinx it, but very real possibility. And both Lancer teams going to walk away today with a sweep. This momentum continues. Diefenbach. Up to Hoskins. And Hoskins gets an ace. Wow, what a nice placement. Hoskins, left side, Blakeson gets it. Set for Hill, and Hill smacks it, but out of here. Two points in a row for the Phoenix. Hoskins. Hill. Archibald. The Blakeson knows that block's there, goes off the fingertips. Fleming rushing for it. Going to be DeCoke off the netting.
And quite a large lead for the Loyalist Lancers, at least in contrast to the leads they've had this set. 17-14, 3-point lead. It's been back and forth for sure, but Loyalist always having a 1 to 2 point advantage for sure.
Blakeson is nervous there. He's going to get called of stepping over the line. That ball was thrown way far ahead of him, but Sylvester, what a dig. And Westerman, you could see right away, he realized he didn't get enough of his hands out in front of him for that block. Glad he didn't injure himself. You could see that he kind of realized and tried to pivot lower to grab it, but his left leg buckled a little bit. Able to get up, no problem. Sort of just off the net, off the hand. Wow, what a grab from Hill. Now going to send that into the block, and as we've talked about so many times today, Fleming really aware and ready anytime.
Yeah, not a chance for the Lancers to get a point off that picture-perfect block by the front line of the Fleming Phoenix there.
But Hill with a nice palm grab as the error comes through.
Just can't even tie it up. It's always been Loyalist by 1 to 2 points, it seems, this set.
And Callahan will come in for Westerman at the line. Okay, Westerman struggling a little bit on the serves earlier. She aced, well, not aced, but got a bunch over, which was good. But now Callahan with the spinner gets it over. Cabello needing some assistance. Lancers, Cannon doesn't play it that great, but kind of gets bailed off of a wonky first touch from Fleming. Loyalist gets it back. Another chance to do it. There's Hill, and he just sends it into the net. Loyalist got bailed out a few times there, but weren't able to come up with it.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Lancers. If you're getting bailed out that many times, you expect to score the point. And we are at a 1 point lead now. 18-17 in the second set. Loyalist up 1-0 over the Fleming Phoenix.
Burr. Hill. Archibald goes for a quick little slosh down with that left hand. Nobody was expecting it. And walking away with that point.
Yeah, it was beautiful by Archibald there in his first game, at least at home with the Lancers this season, coming off a pretty bad leg injury that kept him out all of 2025.
Again, situational awareness from Archibald, one of the top in the entire league. Comes in with a really hard serve. And then Robb and Fleming calling for a tip on the block, but ultimately not going to be the call. Just say that they shot it out of bounds on their own.
Archibald will get another crack at it.
Comes through Northrup, goes to the far side. Be Robb with it. Sylvester comes to help that out. Hill realizes can't do too much with it, so just puts it over. Northrup down the middle and doesn't get the right angle is Flynn. So point for Loyalist. And again, suddenly feeling some momentum on the side of the Lancers. And with that, Phoenix take a timeout. Toby Archibald. And it's out.
Out by a matter of inches. The Phoenix got a break there.
We'll see a change up. Hoskins coming back in. Ryan Clark coming out after getting a few plays under his belt in this series. Northrop. And everybody's just caught completely watching. Not really sure what was going on there. Hill was the last man in his area. Sylvester was maybe a half step behind him, but further to the left. We've had two situations sort of like that earlier with Blaiston and Hill, and then now Sylvester and Hill. And right off the net, wow, Sylvester bails himself out on that one. And Diefenbach is not enough height.
And just like that, back to a 1-point game. And there you go. Loyalist will be getting the ball in service again. Now time for the 500 kill man, Liam Hill. Huge day for him in his OCAA athletic career. Third-year player.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to like all-time record kills, and I feel like it's Ben Hoftheiser, if I remember correctly. Okay, I'm going to have to find out the stats on that one, but my time here, I remember that. As Cannon tries diving for it and doesn't come up with it.
I did ask Amy, our boss, and she said that Hill is not close to the all-time leading kills, so that is an error on my part, and just me trying to learn how the statistics and all that works for the sport has been interesting for sure. As there it is, Deef able to get up there and score the point.
Yeah, and it is interesting, though, because, I mean, Hill's only in his third year as well, so thinking of another 2 years if he's able to keep up that momentum. And, again, not always do we see athletes go the full 5 years of eligibility, and always it's interesting when you see that over on the women's team. Rutledge was the only one that hit fifth year. And then Terwilliger a few years ago when Lancers ended up picking up bronze at the OCAA championship. That was quite an impressive team. 23-22.
Back to a 1-point lead for the Lancers. Like I said, they haven't really been able to break away here. And
completely different from the first set, 100%.
Absolutely.
Hill to Archibald. We go back to Diefenbach. And getting that opportunity to potentially go up 2-0.
Yeah, 1 point separating the Lancers with a 2-0 lead in the sets, that is.
We'll see Kian Titus come in here for Diefenbach on the service subs. And again, the Lancers bench is actually quite strong throughout this year. Last year, Kian Titus was a mainstay in the starting lineup, but obviously a ton of new entrants. The duo pair from Australia as well, playing a huge part in that. But Toby Archibald also coming back from injury. As Titus misses.
Yeah, not the best look when you bring a guy in for service and he whiffs it. Titus going to want to get that one back later.
Loyalist given Fleming a sign of life. Hill, Archibald, Blaiston, Cabello, Northrop puts it up to DeCoke. And Callahan's there for the block, but just puts that out of bounds. And Lancers looked like they were going to wrap up the second set a point ago. And all of a sudden, we're tied. And Hoskins gives it straight back.
And now it is set point.
Rob, the far side. Whoa, almost a collision. But Titus is there, and oh no, back to back. Misses on the side of Kian Titus.
Yeah, not what you want when you're at match point, especially when you don't want to give these guys any sign of life, and now they'll get another opportunity to go up and get a match point of their own. Sorry, set point. Apologies.
Archibald trying to fight at the net, but they're prepared for it that second time. Oh my goodness. And that was something, again, you know that Archibald, again, if you've done scouting, really likes to do those fancy little tricks, and they weren't going to get done over on that second time. I think there was 3 blockers there ready for that, and we'll see a timeout as Fleming down that set point themselves. All eyes on Calvin DeCoke. Oh my goodness, the missed serve, holy.
Same thing happened on our side about 3 points ago. Wow.
And again, couple substitutions, Diefenbach back into this one. They've kept Callahan since that substitution earlier from Westerman. He gets it over. Cabello, and then a little bit of a knuckle over that Blason just puts way too much power on. And the roof gets the point for Fleming.
Yeah, I can't do that there.
And I think there was just a little bit of an extra momentum that they didn't need to add there. It's just coming through, but obviously you're trying to make sure that it gets back into play. But this Lancer Dome, Blason, the Archibald to Hill. Wow, what a dig from Burr. Oh my goodness. Then the blocks at the front there, and Cannon can't play it again. And wow, Chris Jenkins, coach of the Lancers, is probably just absolutely livid at that substitution for Diefenbach at the service line that basically gave up the set to Fleming as they come back, tied at 1 apiece. We'll be back with set 3. Welcome back into the third set. My name's Steven Schill alongside John Ostrowski. The first set, Loyalist took it 25-15, and he thought, wow, this might end up becoming a sweep. And then the Loyalist Lancers were just a point away. And in the second set, a substitution for the server ended up completely changing the tone of things, and Fleming ended up walking away on the second set 28-26 as Loyalist starts this third with a point on the board.
And Archibald gets ready to serve now.
It'll be Burr looking to see if the Lancers ended up tipping that at all. Not going to be the case.
And 2-zip now for Loyalist. I think they'd want a quick set to get over that last one. 1 point away is never fun, and losing.
Archibald. An absolute laser Cabello on that first touch. Northrop puts it up to Rob. Lancers send it straight back. Second effort now in the backcourt. DeCoke gets it.
Yeah, it was a good-looking kill there for DeCoke. Been all over the floor this evening.
Burr. Sylvester. Going to be Archibald. Over to Diefenbach. Cleans it.
3-1 now for Loyalist. He'll get set to serve.
And aces it. Wow. Hill with quite a spinner. Going to be a fight at the bottom of the net, and Blakeson is there to put it away.
Just able to keep it in there.
I am pretty shocked at how low-key Fleming is after what a monstrous comeback, even though I know it was just like a point away. It feels like there is just almost no energy in this building. Obviously, Loyal's the home team here and just kind of cruising, but Loyal's looking mighty impressive coming out here in this third set.
Yeah, it feels like they kind of just came out of nowhere and stole that set from the Lancers. So if you're on the side of Loyalist, you're completely happy with how you're playing. You're going to want to keep going.
And Hill with the second ace at this run at the line. The Lancers now up by 5. Things are progressing quite quickly.
And Hill's going to whiff on that one.
Northrop to Hill. Archibald sets it up for Diefenbach. The wall is there. The Lancers now with an opportunity to capitalize. Blaiston sees that wall there. Fleming again. What a great stop between Flynn and Hoskins, but Loyalist getting just so many efforts that eventually they get through, but the players is not able to be there on the blocking side. But again, thoroughly impressed with the Fleming front line throughout this entire series. They seem to always be in the right spot. As Cannon looks to really increase this Loyalist lead. Now it's 7-2. Rob, Northrop puts it up to Hoskins. Lancers get a block this time around. Northrop sets it up again. Hoskins isn't going to be able to get a set on it. Just does a nice little bump over. Ends up going over the net too. Nobody there for Loyalist.
Yeah, able to get the roll, lucky roll, and it's going to just glide over the net as it's now 7-3 for the home side.
Blakeson. Archibald trying to go for that fancy little done that we talked about in the previous set. He tried to do it, but the ball just didn't have enough height for that to pull it off, so ends up just falling short onto their own side, giving Fleming that point. As Rob is going to give it straight back on the miss serve.
Now 8-4.
Cabello on a first touch. Northrup's able to play it. It's casually sent over. Lance is trying to make something of it. Westerman's there with the block from DeCoke. Now Fleming Northrup puts it up. Again, neither team really getting a good swing on it, just kind of fighting. And there's Hill. Puts an end to the mischief.
And that's a big play by Hill there, 9-4 with another kill there.
Diefenbach. Ace.
And there you go, 6-point lead now for your hometown Lancers as Diefenbach able to get it over.
Diefenbach. Rob. Northrup to Hoskins. Goes for a tap. Is anybody there? They are. Blakeson gets it back over. Northrup puts it up to the Cabello. Turns into the center for Hoskins. Lance's blocks there, but we don't get enough of an arc into play. Count it for Fleming.
Yeah, that was way off there for the Lancers. The block wasn't even close to hitting the darker hardwood.
Hill. Archibald. Back to Diefenbach, and Diefenbach can't really hit that at all, so just volleys it over. And DeCoke's there, but wow! What a wall and an answer from Evan Westerman with Toby Archibald beside him.
Yeah, great job for the young player Westerman rising up there and just with a thunderous block.
Blakeson. Another ace. And it feels like almost every single serve from Loyalist has been targeting Alex Robb in that number 15 jersey.
And it looks like it'll be a timeout for the visitors.
Blakeson, Cabello, Northrup puts it up to DeCoke. Off the Lancer block, Blakeson. Archibald, that set, one of the reactions here from Westerman was like, oh crap, I might get set here, because he was looking to try to just make sure he was available in case that ball went off the net, then having to go on the offensive side. Ultimately ends up being Fleming's point after all, but funny little reaction there from Westerman as Hoskins gives the point straight back.
13-6 now as Loyalist doubles their lead +1, largest lead of the third set so far. It's pretty much been all Loyalist.
Ryan Clark coming in for Hoskins. On the side of Fleming, Westerman now gets a serve over. Going to be Rob. Northrup down the middle. Burr, quick little swing. Hill's there, but ends up walking into Northrup. Just under the net. We'll call it a violation.
13-7, tied at 1-1 for the set. Sylvester back in the game.
Archibald puts it back up to Hill. Hill kind of a shot backwards as the ball comes flying into the stands. Rob thinking better of that than trying to crash into the people. And don't forget, whenever we do have a Loyalist home game, feel free to come on by the gym. Would love to have you.
Absolutely free, of course, unless you want to grab some merchandise or snacks, but that's also reasonably priced too. I think it's under $50 for a hoodie, which don't know where you find a hoodie for that cheap.
And a block comes through from Cannon and Diefenbach. But ultimately, just going to be off. Sorry, didn't see that. Going to be Fleming's point. And again, Fleming mounting a little bit of a comeback here when Loyalists looked like they were just going to completely walk away with this third set. But Burr on the serve. Sylvester's there. Archibald puts that back up to Hill behind him. And whoa, a lot of chaos there. Blakeson having a dive for that one as it did look like it was going to stay in play. And Hill going back. Burr's there for it. Northrop puts it to the back to DeCoke. And DeCoke, wow. Could hear that from a mile away.
Yeah, beautiful by DeCoke. That's been his bread and butter all afternoon, or all evening, excuse me. He's been rising up and just slamming that ball.
Burr. Sylvester, will you fight at the net maybe? Surprised Fleming didn't even challenge that one. But ultimately, they put the block up and it's not going to be good enough. But again, there's been so many balls that have just been almost 50-50 chances. And seeing which team really kind of makes a go at it while it's there is interesting. And Fleming, I think, could have played that one just a slight bit better, give them a better chance. Hill gets called for an ace. Wow.
That was definitely in there. Beautiful serve by Hill. 7-point lead for the home side now.
Cabello. Rob's there, but that wall for Loyalist is Northrop. Well, then again, Lances don't get a clean block that time around, but they're still able to do something with it, and Diefenbach is there to put it away.
Huge play by Deep there, able to rise up and knock it into an open spot on the floor, and no chance for any of the Fleming players with the trajectory of that ball there.
Hill skies it to the right and out. We'll see that substitution again. Ryan Clark coming out for Hunter Hoskins, who's been one of the top options for this Fleming side on the offensive end of things. Northrop. Sylvester and Hill collide on that, which ultimately gives up the kill to Northrop, the Fleming setter. Hill. Archibald goes running for it, up to Blakeston. And Lancer's getting closer and closer to that 25-point mark.
18-11 now, and probably shouldn't have even taken the risk of touching the ball by the Fleming player there. And Cannon gets set to serve.
Cannon misses. Alex Robb, one of the rookies. On that serve, Sylvester puts it straight up, and there we go. That's what I'm talking about, those 50-50 balls at the net. DeCoke capitalizing, just setting it straight down.
Yeah, not a chance there for Sylvester to make a play.
Sylvester, again, another fight at the net there. Archibald wasn't looking the front way, so kind of put his backhand to it as DeCoke's again there from the front, but that's Fleming capitalizing on that, something you noticed super early. Sylvester able to play that one a lot better than the other ones. And Westerman, woo! Just barely touches the line. An agreement is Jordan Ross, the Fleming coach, but that was absolutely close.
Yeah, wow, 50-50 I've ever seen one, but if Coach Ross didn't react, then it's probably the right call.
Diefenbach. The bail. Northrup puts it behind him to Hoskins. Blakeson running for the block. Gets it put up. Hill's there. Hoskins. Fleming trying to make something out of it. DeCoke with a wild run up for that and gets it.
I can't believe that Loyalist was able to extend the rally there. That was amazing.
Flynn. Hill. Archibald tries to set that for Westerman, but the set was just over Westerman. And again, after thinking Loyalist was going to run away with this one, we're back eating our own words. Just a 3-point differential here late in the third set. Archibald. The Blakeson. Clean.
That will not help the momentum of the Fleming Phoenix.
Northrup puts it up to Hoskins behind him. Lanch is going for a block. They aren't able to do anything with it. Going to be dumped over. Northrup sets up Bird. Sylvester's there, and Blakeson went diving behind Sylvester, so wasn't able to go and play that one. But if Blakeson just stood on his feet, might have been able to. Sylvester, another 50-50 at the net. This time Archibald switching that front face. Blakeston's able to save it. They have to just get over Bird. Northrup puts it up to DeCoke. Goes for a nice little tap. It's Hill. Northrup now trying to set DeCoke. And off that hand. Fleming not wanting to say no. As we'll see a timeout from Loyalist. Coming off that timeout, Hunter Hoskins with the serve. It's Hill. Not too shabby.
Regaining a 3-point cushion, but when you had an 7 or 8 point cushion earlier in the set, you're not the most pleased with that if you are on the home side.
Westerman. We have to DeCoke. Lanches do get a block on the point.
And now Westerman gets set.
Northrup to Burr. Gets through the block and gets the kill.
Good job by Burr there, finding some open space and slamming the ball home.
And again, both teams super serious, very, very quiet on the floor. All that matters is picking up the point. And DeCoke
Well out.
Gives it up, yeah. It's definitely, I don't know, it's always interesting when so many points are decided just from missed serves.
Yeah, it breaks up the flow of the game and really isn't very enjoyable to watch if I'm being blunt.
And back-to-back misses.
You don't expect that from Archibald.
Burr. Blason. Archibald puts it up to Hill. And way wide.
Almost hit the line judge. I think that's the term for those referees with the flags. Almost hit one of those. I would assume it's the line judge. I've heard that term before. As number 7 for the Fleming Phoenix gets set to serve.
Blason, Archibald to Diefenbach, goes off that block. Burr's going to play it. Flynn and Northrup collide, but the ball gets over. It's all that matters. And then Cannon's there as Flynn goes up for the sole block. And Lancers, after a little bit of woes here and there, almost like you're out to sea, now at set point here in set 3. Northrup up to Flynn, and Flynn getting some nice height and a kill.
That was a big one for the Fleming Phoenix, giving some momentum on the visiting side now.
Serves over, almost a collision on the side of Loyalist, but Diefenbach's there. Whoa, and the block, oh my! Robin Flynn, therefore, and some we've praised throughout this game as Fleming really on that defensive side showing their worth and doing just that in the absolute pinnacle of crunch time.
Yeah, imagine if they take this serve two after being down, take this set after being down 7 at one point.
Archibald puts that up to Blason. The block's there. Blason having to go again. Northrup puts it back. Going to be Hoskins. There's a tip on it. Loyalist does have to play it. Sylvester puts up a set for Diefenbach. Diefenbach doesn't put too much power on it, but it gives the opportunity for Fleming to respond. And they just put it out as Blakeston is down on the far side. Collided with the net there, but ultimately Loyalist is going to get the point, but Blakeston is not looking too hot. But ultimately, and fanfare as the crowd just goes completely silent along with the bench. Again, just worried more about Blakeston more than anything, but Loyalists take this third set 25-23. Set 4 coming up next. Welcome back to the fourth set, where we've had quite a contest in the first set. Loyalist took it 25-15 in the second. An absolute insane overtime matchup where Fleming walked away 28-26, and then just moments ago, Loyalist took the set 25-23.
And that's way out.
And again, we definitely brought it up a ton at the beginning of this match, but Toby Archibald missing the entirety of the first half of the season. Again, was a league all-star last year in his rookie year. Coming in to take over the setting role for this Loyalist Lancia squad. And looking ever as much good as he did before the injury. Blaiston. Archibald puts it up to Hill, and Hill gets a kill.
And not to assume anything, but you can only imagine Archibald will be coming back for a third year next year because, losing that amount of your seasons is substantial for your playing career for sure.
Well, it does make a big difference, too, for the playoff run here for Loyalist. And again, even walking into the season, obviously you don't really know some of the new faces. And honestly, right away, I kind of felt like, all right, this is a team that could really end up competing in their record at 4-5. Maybe it doesn't show them on the top of the leaderboard, but I do think they have the talent if they can come together, and especially with bringing back an all-star setter, really change up the dynamics.
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that they're 4-5 and 7th in their conference is quite amazing because you don't usually see a team a game under 500 be that low in the OCAA standings. So it's probably point differential and stuff like that goes into it rather. But you definitely want this win, and you can't drop too many games after this one.
You're going to see Northrop swing out to the far side. It's going to be Rob. The Lancers had the block, but ultimately not able to put their hands over that net enough. It's going to fall just a little bit short. So Loyalists originally starting this set up by 3, but now Fleming getting an opportunity to get a point on the board and to serve.
First point for the visitors this fourth set. Had to think for a second. It's getting late over here.
Going to be Diefenbach from back. I was able to put that through. As you saw the diving effort from DeCoke.
Hill gets set. I believe at 5:07 kills now, but I could be wrong. Something like that. It would be definitely nice for him to get past 5:10 today.
Cabello on that first touch is going to be Hoskins, but the referee calls a net violation. So Loyal's getting a freebie.
Looked like he was well over because the official on the other side caught it right away.
Hill. Rob on that first touch. Northrop sends it back to Rob. Rob goes right through the block and a diving effort from Sylvester. Wow, what placement.
He didn't have a chance there. Not Sylvester's fault whatsoever. Made the best play he could have.
And again, Sylvester, one of the new players coming in for this Loyalist squad as the libero too, cracking the starting lineup and really being impressive, honestly, every time I've seen him. As we see Rob with the serve for Fleming and Sylvester on that touch. Archibald puts it up to Blaiston. That block is there, but Hill, wow, what a grab from an Archibald. Now tries to dump it to the back corner, and Cabello, knowing that's going to drop, just tries to reach out with his left hand to try to flick it back, but the momentum is just not going to be there.
No chance for the libero Cabello there, but wow, what a play by Hill there. What hand-eye to make that play. Unbelievable. And now 6-2 for the Lancers, 2-1 in regards to the set score.
Yeah, and really crazy to think about just that substitution really changing the momentum in that second set because it feels like we'd have been out of here at that time. But Hoskins puts that into the block of Blaiston and Westerman. Wow.
Yeah, not a chance there for the visitors.
But again, just in terms of like body language and whatnot, coming off of that win in that second set from Fleming, just very shocked not to see them kind of regroup, have that momentum, have that eagerness, and just being able to visibly see it. Because that was quite a comeback, but Cannon struggling at the service line there, not able to get it in play.
I'm quite surprised. There hasn't been too many adjustments. Been pretty much the same squad for the Phoenix all evening.
Well, also just thinking about it, too, if we remember, there was the back-to-back plays. As we see Westerman just take that off the net. Hill's there, but the roof is going to play a part in it. But we mentioned back-to-back where there was the collision under where I forget who ran. I think it was Northrop that ran into Blaiston, and then there was a call back immediately from what looked like an ace on the side of Fleming. But then a bunch of players just stood still and then called the referee saying they were out of position as Westerman gets a clean kill. And we thought, you know what, there's going to be some extra, momentum, maybe chirping, anything. Like, it didn't really feel like anything of that sort.
No, that's true. It's been quite closely contested, but it's always felt like the Lancers have had the edge this evening. And, of course, Fleming fighting for their playoff lives as well. 2-7 currently on the outside looking in this division.
Burr gets blocked, but another effort from Fleming there. Blakeston's there, and so Sylvester. That one looked like that might have dropped out, but Rob's not going to take the chance for it. And DeCoke with a big swing. Now Lancers get another effort for it. It's going to be DeCoke. Goes into the block and sends it straight back. DeCoke eyeing down Diefenbach on his way back. And again, as I've seen throughout this, probably the best thing for Fleming has been their blocking ability throughout the whole series.
Yeah, from 5th to 9th right now, it goes Algonquin at 5-3, Durham at 5-3, Loyalist at 4-5, Centennial at 3-5, and Fleming at 2-7. All those teams except for Fleming have a game in hand, which is unfortunate for the Lancers, as Blakeston, the man from down under.
Oh my goodness. And again, on that serve, we noticed Hoskins no longer rocking the headband. Trying to go for a different vibe in the second set. Excuse me, fourth set.
Could you imagine if we were still in the second? Oh, unfortunate for Blakeston.
And definitely misserve has been a huge component of today's game for both sides.
Yeah, and you definitely have to clean that up if you are the Lancers. Or the Phoenix as well, to be fair.
DeCoke on the serve. Sylvester kind of walked forward and then immediately having to pivot back, so not really sure if he thought that was just going to be shortchanged, but ultimately not in a great position to play it. DeCoke, another run here, Blakeston. Archibald puts it up to Westerman, and Westerman sees that back corner.
Great play by Westerman there. 10-7 now as Cannon comes back in the game.
Westerman. Be a far serve, gonna be close here at the net. Swing comes through, Burr puts it into Cannon, and the Lancers responding with the mighty blocks on Fleming with one of their own.
4-point lead now for the home side.
Northrop puts it up to Rob. Wow, Westerman's there for it. Ooh, wee. Wow. I mean,
I don't know. I looked into me.
No, I mean, just the fact that Westerman was able to play that and it being so close again, I think he was just there, and it was not really much he could do, but just trying to see the way that the ball would roll, and ultimately goes to the side of Fleming as Loyalist trying to get that one back. It's Diefenbach.
All the way to one of the Loyalist fans, and that's not even close.
So that'll bring up Toby Archibald. An absolute laser that DeCoke's able to play initially. Rob trying to spin that down the left side from his vantage point. Not able to do so. Loyalist up 13-8, and that will bring a timeout from Jordan Ross and the Fleming Phoenix. coming off the timeout. We got Toby Archibald back to serve. Cabello's there for it. Northrop gonna send it straight back. Hoskins is there. Blakeson, now Cannon, gonna be up for Hill. Goes off the block and having a play. DeCote tries to swing his left hand at that, and the ball ends up hitting him off of an awkward back and an awkward bounce, and looks back at the bench thinking that somebody threw the ball at him, but that was not the case. Archibald continuing this run. Rob, Northrop. It's reset again. That block is there, but not going to play a part. It's too far to the right. And Hill, wow! What a sling.
And no shot for Hoskins there. Just watches it go to the right of him. 15-8 now. 10 points to close this one. And if you're a Loyalist, you don't want to deal with what you dealt with last set where you kind of let him get back in and just kind of won the set on a 50-50 call. It wasn't the most convincing.
Yeah, again, just the consistency once having the lead is going to play a huge part here as DeCoke. Wow! Northrop ends up getting the block. DeCoke basically puts up a 50-50 ball at the net. Cannon's there trying to sling it back. But the block comes through from Northrop, and Fleming picks up the point. Sylvester. We put it from Hill from the back. Wow, what height on that one. Holy smokes. Can we get that in slow motion?
And if the season ended today, the Loyalist Lancers would, unfortunately for them, be playing last season's OCAA runners-up, the Cambrian Golden Shield. They're at 7-2 on the other side of the division. And, of course, the crossover rule applies.
And Fleming picked up that last point as they pick up this one as well, just for clarification. On my wording, I guess there was a violation on the previous play.
Now at 15-11.
Sylvester. Up to Diefenbach and gets through the double block of Flynn and Hoskins.
Yeah, and Dief with a big exclamation point there.
Hill misses. Lancers did call for it out, but Sylvester ends up playing that. Blaisden's there, and ultimately they do get the point. That was going to be super close to see that, but I think it was Blaisden that called that it was going to go out. But ultimately gets the point, so irrelevant either way.
17-12 for the Loyalist Lancers, 8 points away from ending this one. And, of course, we'll have a little ceremony for the 500-kill man, Hill, after this one, so stick around for that.
Hoskins. Too heavy. Cannon. Misses.
18-13 now.
Clayson, the Archibald, the Westerman gets it.
Big exclamation point there, excuse me. Not sure what an explanation point is. And Deef getting set as the guys set up a guard in front of the net.
Going to go to Rob. We're going to count it as an ace. Was the athletic director, Christie, almost gets taken out there?
Yeah, we don't want our AD getting taken out on a Wednesday night volleyball game, but it'll be a timeout for the visitors after that one.
Jacob Diefenbach here to serve with the Lancers again, just 5 points away from closing out this series. Gonna be DeCoke on that first touch. Gonna be up to Hoskins, and you see him slide on that and then slid again. Back and forth, not sure what was going on that. Haven't seen a sort of wipeout on that front. Not sure if that was the shoes or the court, but holy smokes.
Yeah, not sure. He just could have lost his balance there. They did clean the court in the second set when Cabello slipped, but it won't matter too much as Deef goes again.
Cabello, this time on the first touch, going to be up to DeCoke. And what a reach from Westerman to get that block. And then quick realization from DeCoke that there was an opening on the floor. Not really any Lancers thinking about that opening, even though they were sort of set. Sylvester trying to dive for it, but can't come up with it. Hunter Hoskins. Blason. Archibald. To Hill. Clean.
3 points now, and Callahan will be coming into the game.
And Ryan Clark will come in for Hunter Hoskins. We've seen that pairing change a couple times throughout today's action. And then also Liam Hill coming out for Liam Callahan. And I just realized there's 3 different Liams on the Lancer side: Callahan, Westerman, and Parachuk. As Blakeston misses the serve.
(22-15) for the home team. Home team up 2-1 in the sets department.
DeCoke. Callahan on that first touch. Archibald puts it back up to Callahan. That blocks there, but it's going to go off the pole on the net. Ultimately, Fleming picks up that point. But you can see Archibald really wanting to get Callahan involved right away. DeCoke misses. Westerman gets the ace. Cabello can't handle it.
And it's officially match point.
And Westerman misses the serve. All eyes on Carson Burr. Callahan. Archibald back to Callahan. Was off that block. DeCoke's there for it. Weather up to Rob. And the block from Loyalist is there. And they're going to end up winning after all. After some spicy drama in the second set and first the whole way through. My goodness. Midweek action. And Lancers, both sides, come away with wins. Love to see it. Lancers improve to 5-5, and Fleming drops to 2-8. For myself, Stephen Schill, alongside John Ostrowski, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. And again, a big congratulations on 500 plus kills for Liam Hill in his career in the OCAA.
We celebrate his hard work, dedication, and incredible impact to the program.